At the moment, I've been using some functions inside Python that I was not very like explicit about it, but I have been using, for example, in this case, I have here range, I have here print, I have used other things like, for example, I have used type. I don't know if you remember. I have used type. I have used also int to do the cast, to turn something into an integer or a string. These are called building functions. Building functions means that they are by default in Python. You don't need to do anything and you can just use them. There are many building functions. You can look for a list of building functions and check what they do. I have here a list. I just look building functions in Python and I got this list. And you don't need to know all of them. I mean, but as you are advancing, you're going to need more and more of them, or you will understand what are they doing. But sometimes these ones are good to know, no? Also, there is other build functions that I maybe disregarded, like bool. This is just a boolean, it's like string, int, and maybe float. Also, I haven't used. This is just to define a float number like that has decimals. I think also I have used that one. I have the list. I have the I don't know if I print the len. I didn't print the len, but you can print the, oh yes, the len. Here it is, the len of a list. This is also a building function. Len, it's the length, tells you the length of a list. And there are others that I have not used, like that I like to use a lot, especially in Maya. And one of them is, I think that these ones that are missing here, it will be char. If I print this, print char, I think I need to provide a letter or a number. I need to provide, let's put a number of 65, and let's run this. And it printed the letter A. Okay, so char is going to print in ASCII code whatever number you provide here. So I know 65 is the ASCII code for A because I use it very often, and usually I will use it to rename stuff. So for example, I will do something like first I'm going to define the index equals, and I'm gonna start with 65, that's my index. And then I'm gonna do a for each in, imagine that I'm renaming something, some objects. Let's do it in Maya, why not? So let's import my import, pymel.core, spn, and then we are going to do index for each in. Let's do in selection, so let's retrieve the selection from Maya, pymel.list, the selection equals true, and let's rename our objects. Selection, assign this to a variable, equals this. For each in selection, let's do a renaming. So it's very easy to rename an object. You just select each dot, there is a function inside the object called rename, and you just want to rename it to char index plus what? We need to count this. There is another building function that we're going to use here that it's called enumerate. Enumerate, it's going to enumerate whatever is inside my list, and this enumerate it's going to return an index. So I can return the number here, offset. I'm going to call it offset. So, and I'm going to use plus offset. So what does this mean? If I print the numbers, if I print, for example, here, well, index is 65, I'm just going to print the offset. just change this name from index. I'm going to press Shift F6 to change the name of the variable. I'm going to change it to let's call it start index, start number. Okay, so it changed the name in all the variables, all the appearances of this index variable. Anyway, and let's take this and take it to Maya and see what it does. So here I'm gonna run this function. I'm gonna run this function, but it works in the selection, right? I'm first getting a list of the selection with this. So I'm going to select my objects, and right now I'm gonna name them A, B, C, D, E, right? Of course, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. But usually I will do this. I will put here a string before, like maybe cube, and then I will use this string. I'm just gonna put here the brackets, the square brackets, and I need an F. Anyway, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run this, and now they are called A, B, C, D, E, cube A, B, C, D, E, cube J, right? So this is something that I use very often to rename them, and it's based a lot in building functions, right? I'm gonna copy this code here, and I'm gonna take it here just so you can see it. Anyway, I'm missing here this. Okay. So these are the building functions. It's enumerate. There is another ones that I have used. For example, I use another function that in the lists to reverse the lists, to switch the order from one side to the other. And I just wanted you to be aware that these building functions are here. There is one other that rather than enumerate, I don't know if you noticed, but when I run this code, you could see that the offset, the enumerate returned a number, which is here, which starts enumerating from 0, 1, 2. Actually, I printed here, so you can see how it started. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I was just adding to this offset with the enumerate. You can also do zip. Zip, usually it's used when you have two lists of objects. For example, if you have names and then you have maybe last names, and you have lists, two different lists with elements. Let's copy some elements from a previous thing, for example here, and let's go to my functions, some names. So we have some names, and maybe we want some last names also. I don't know, last names like Ruiz, out of my mind. I don't know, Jackson. I don't know. Let's try another one. Let's try Wayne. I'm a huge fan of Batman. Let me think another one. Martinez. Anyway, so I have these two lists, and the other one that I can use in the for statement is the zip building function. The zip building function it's going to return each one of these elements in order. So for example, here, if I want to do this, I'm going to put here for name, each name, I'm going to name the variable, and each last name, it's just two variables, could be called A, B, in, and then I use the zip, and I can use this one, names, and I can put another iterable, which in this case will be last names, and it's going to zip them, which means like it's going to match one by one of the elements, and it's going to return them inside these variables. Now I can print, for example, here print Once again, I'm going to put F, click. I'm going to write the first name, then the second one in brackets. And I shouldn't have done that. I just put right each name, last name, and that's it. And this zip, it's going to, as I was saying, it's going to print this zipped. Let me comment this code so we don't interfere, and now we run. And once we run this code, you can see each one of the names was returned with each one of the last names on each loop of the 4. So this is how the zip is working. And zip, it's another building function. Okay, so check out the building functions. What other one I used? I used char, CHR, char. And there is the opposite of char, which is I don't use that one that often, but is ord. If you want to know what's the value of a character, you can use ord. So you can do ord, and you want to know what's the letter A. Print. You can print ord A, and this ord is going to return me the number of which in this case is 55. But I can try, for example, the minuscule a. I can see that the minuscule a is the 97. Yeah, so ord, it's usually used in conjunction with char just to know what to do, or I don't know, maybe you want to turn one letter into a number or something at some point, and you can do it this way, right? I think that's it about building functions. I hope this was clear. There is a big list of building functions. It's not important that you check them out, all of them, if you want to, but I think I told you the ones that I use the most. And if you have questions, let me know.